I knew at some point in time on this channel I'd have to talk about something pretty serious, and obviously, again, uh, unless you've been under a rock, you pretty much know that Russia has invaded the Ukraine, and that is having ramifications for the entire world. And we're going to talk about that in this video. Really, instead of, as I've seen some people go, how you can make money in this time frame. I personally feel that's kind of disgusting. I don't want to think about ways in which you can capitalize and make money while people are dying. So what I would rather focus on in this video is how you, as a person who, and these videos are mainly for people who are working class and middle class and learning just financial literacy and how to get their finances together and start taking some steps up the rungs of the ladder as far as, you know, their income is concerned. I wanted to talk about how you can protect your money and things to look out for over the next couple of months. Because again, a lot of people, unless you're in the financial spaces and unless you're a person who's really into money a lot of this is not really told to you or told to us, I should say. So we're gonna talk about that in this video. Thank you guys for checking out the video. This is Wrestling with Finance, the YouTube finance channel for those who have wrestled with finance in the past and look to do better with it in the future, and more so in this video than others. This is really geared towards people who may be wrestling with finances now and how to protect themselves going forward. But before we get to that, I want to remind you guys to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. It helps out the channel and helps other people like yourself find out about this video. So we're not going to go through the entire history of what's going on with the Ukraine and Russia. This isn't a political channel, so I don't really want to get into geopolitics. But just to summarize, in case you've been living under a rock, Vladimir Putin had Russian troops on the border of Ukraine for quite some time. They are fearful of Ukraine being an unfriendly country along their border and their relationship with NATO. That's a whole other story. Again, I'm trying not to get too far into the politics of it, but Putin ordered his Russian troops to invade Ukraine. They've been taking over many different spots of the Ukraine. Although the capital has been held up pretty well, the international community has been aghast about this across the board. Some of the bigger players, even China, at first kind of supporting Russia, then they kind of dithered from it. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but there's a lot in the financial spaces globally that are going to be affected by this conflict. A lot of semiconductors are produced. Semiconductors are things that we need for our computers, your phone, the whatever you're looking at me at this on right now. We need semiconductors for those. A lot of wheat is made there. A lot of fertilizer is made in the Ukraine. Russia is responsible for a large amount of oil production in the world, especially to Europe. So you can see how this becomes a problem, especially if you're starting to cut off Russia from a lot of the financial systems. We don't know everywhere that Russia's got its tentacles in, kind of like the United States and China and the UK and a lot of other world powers. You don't really know the extent of where they are in the entire global system. So a lot of this can have ramifications, not only obviously for the people in the Ukraine who are losing their lives, but also for the rest of us around the world. And in particular, if you are a working and middle class person, there's some things that you really should be aware of, and not so much what they tell you on the cable news guys, and they are very alarmist about it, or they don't really understand or don't really explain it, I should say, in a way that is really helpful to you. So I'm going to try to kind of explain what I'm thinking about doing and what you might want to think about doing as well. As I mentioned, Russia was one of the biggest producers of oil in the world, and with them being cut off and Germany talking about shutting down pipelines, there's a whole other conversation about the SWIFT, which is kind of the international, well, let's call it Venmo or PayPal internationally. Cutting Russia out of that would be tremendously huge, but it's also going to hurt a bunch of other European countries. We're already seeing the price of oil is rising, and a lot of people may go, oh my God, that means the price for me to fill up my car at the gas tank is going to go up. Yes, that is a concern, but there are some other ramifications with that as far as oil shortage is concerned. Now, a lot of the Western nations are trying to get Japan and Korea and some of the other countries as well to tap into the oil reserves to kind of stave off this ever-increasing price of crude and the price at the pump. And if they do tap into the reserves, it is going to alleviate things. It's a short-term fix for a long-term issue, and hopefully somehow this gets resolved peacefully over the next couple of weeks before things really start hitting you. But I've heard people talk about $5 a gallon at the gas pump. You know, some people say it could get up to $7 of gas at the gas pump, and not like over the course of the next year or two, over the course of the next couple of months, maybe even weeks if it really goes bad. So that, yes, is going to affect us when you know, as far as driving, maybe you won't drive so much, maybe you won't take so many trips, but it also affects a lot of the companies that we kind of rely on to get our services from. Now, I know a lot of people, when they hear that stuff, they're like, oh no, the corporations are price gouging and stuff, but it's very simple math, actually. When the costs go up for companies to produce things, that means the cost of buying those things goes up for us as well. And in particular, if the cost of gas goes up to $5, $6, $7 a gallon, yeah, that's going to suck for us, and that's definitely a pain point for me and everybody else who drives a gas-powered vehicle. But think about that exponentially for UPS. Think about that exponentially for services like Amazon. Think about that exponentially for any other delivery service. And of course, the semi-trucks and the truckers who are transporting all of these goods and materials, medicines, food, everything else that we go to the store to buy, to purchase, medications that we need. All of the supply lines were already hurt before this whole thing because of inflation. But now they're going to be stressed even more if gas goes up significantly, because while that may be like maybe $100, $200 more for us, that's like thousands and tens of thousands of dollars more to, you know how much money it costs to fill up a semi? That's a lot more money for them. And of course, again, if the price is going up for them, the price goes up for us. I've already noticed, because I bought a frozen food dinner last week from the grocery store, and I opened it up and realized that the portion, even though the price didn't really go up, the portion that was in it was a lot smaller than I remember it before, and that is another consequence. And this, in very serious terms though, for people who really need to get food and really need to get supplies to them in different parts of the country and different parts of the world, that could be almost fatal in some cases if you're not able to get the supplies that are needed and the medications that are needed and anything else that are needed as far as supplies for a lot of people. We're in kind of a very, very sticky situation right now. I'm not going to stick too much in the doom and gloom phase of this, because I do want to talk about some things that you probably can do. So I assume if you are watching this video, most of the people who watch this channel are people who are trying to improve their finances. And if you've just been getting into cryptocurrency or the stock market or whatever it is, or real estate over the past couple of years, you're probably hitting this as your first time and really seeing the market kind of tank. Now, it's interesting to note, though, that last Wednesday, all the international markets tanked, but by Thursday morning, the United States stock market just decided, hey, screw that, we're just going to go up, and we had a resurgence. And the U.S., I don't understand how it happened. Well, actually, I understand how it happened, but it's actually fascinating to me, I should say, how that happened. But the stock market's been okay, but the economy is what I'm kind of worried about, and we also have to talk about inflation. Now, the good news, in one sense, I guess you could say, is because of this, Jerome Powell, who's the Fed head, I love just calling him Fed head, he's the guy that determines when, or sort of the guy that determines when and how much interest rates go up. Now, if interest rates go up, that means it's harder to borrow money. That means the rate of you borrowing money for a car or getting money for a house eventually will increase as well. It's more about how much banks have to charge now people to borrow money from them, which of course means people will borrow less money, which is a way for them to slow down the economy, which is a way to slow inflation and these prices going up as crazy as they do. So the assumption has been in the financial world over the past couple of weeks that sometime over the next 2 or 3 weeks in March, that Jerome Powell would announce that they are raising interest rates. And it was originally anticipated that it would be 0.5%. But now, because of the tensions in Russia and Ukraine, it's now more likely going to be 0.25% if they're raised at all during the month of March. The good side of that is that, things aren't going to go out of whack too soon. The bad side of it is that inflation is probably going to be pretty high all the way through the summer. So again, you're going to have to plan accordingly for that. If you're planning a vacation or planning to travel somewhere or sending your kids somewhere or anything like that, expect that inflation is probably still going to be around and you're going to feel it up until the end of summer. But if you're a person who has been saving money, investing money or whatever, this is probably a time for you to probably get further into the market. And I'll tell you the reason why. A lot of times when this happens, you see the markets crash, but the conventional wisdom has been for people to pull out. But savvy investors know usually when there's something like the same thing with COVID, which a lot of people started investing during COVID, which is why this is the first time a lot of them have seen it go down. When there's a crisis like this and the markets tank, that's usually the best time to buy in. So to protect your money, don't sell all your stocks, don't pull things out, keep your investments in check, and just invest as you usually would. If you're still doing like $100 a week or $50 a week or $200 a week, whatever it is, and investing and buying your stocks, it's probably a good idea to keep doing that, because when the markets go back up, which they eventually will, unless of course this is the end of the world, but that aside, hopefully it isn't the end of the world. If it's not the end of the world, the markets will go back up, so what you own will increase in value eventually. Cryptocurrency has been a very interesting one because, in fact, I'm recording this on Monday, the 28th of February, and Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies shot up in price today, as well as Tesla shooting up in price today, which Tesla's been hit hard over the last couple of months. But I think that has a lot to do with the concerns over oil, with the concerns over the banking system. If you have concerns over oil and gas, then people are going to look into electronic vehicles. And if you have concerns over the banking system, then you're going to look at alternative systems like cryptocurrency. Take temperature of what's going on. If you see that, oh, well, this is going to happen and because of this war, well, maybe I should invest in this industry because there's going to be a lot of attention, a lot of money moved into that industry. That's really the way you might want to look at it. But at the end of the day, protect yourself, make sure you have your savings on hand, and make sure you adjust according, because we don't really know how much longer this is going to go on, and we really can't predict what the actual economic impact is going to be on the average person in the United States and around the world. So definitely protect yourself. If you guys have any questions or anything, let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Also, as I do have, as always, this probably is more helpful now than ever, if you are interested in getting involved in the cryptocurrency because crypto is going up, or you're looking to invest in some new asset classes, I do have some links down in the description box below for you where you can get now 3 free stocks from Webull by signing up using that affiliate link. You can also still, of course, get stocks from Robinhood. You can use Coinbase to buy your crypto. You can park your crypto in Vault and get a high interest on your cryptocurrency while things are going kind of crazy. At least you can still earn money that way. And of course, if you maybe need to sign up for a credit card, you can use the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve links down in the description box below and get up to 60,000 free points that will help pay for some things. If you're going to spend a lot of money on gas to travel, you might as well get the hotel free, and you can do that by using the points from your Chase Sapphire Reserve, the preferred card. So you might want to check that stuff out down below. Again, not financial advice. You guys should do your own investigations before you do that. That's why I provide the links down there so you guys can check it out for yourself. Stay safe out there, guys. Hopefully you guys are not feeling too much of a pinch. And again, if any of you guys know anybody in the Ukraine or have any family or friends over there, I do give my best wishes to them and hope that they're safe as well. I'll see you guys next time here on Wrestling with Finance. Be safe.